When the words coming out of your mouth are true and you believe what you're saying, that's authenticity. Hey, thanks for tuning into my show. I'm the co-owner of Suprahuman, and we're all about helping you become your best self. We've helped thousands of people physically transform. If you want to take the mystery of how to achieve your best body, get a meal plan completely customized to your needs for free. Go to superhumandiet.com, that's SUPRA humandiet.com, and we'll deliver the plan directly to your inbox. Hey, I am all warmed up and ready to go. I'm excited. Welcome to I Am Nineveh. If it's your first time, thank you. Things get a little weird sometimes. You know what I'm drinking right now? Not an ad. But I love the Nitro cold brew from Starbucks. Here's my only gripe about it. My only gripe is this. I feel like it's made differently every single time I order it. Like either it has too little cream or too much of the vanilla cream. And here's the thing, I count macros. So I need Starbucks to actually be accurate about this. So my question for them is like, where's your SOP at? Where's your standard operating procedure when it comes to making this thing? Because they taste good every time I get them, but a little bit different. Either not creamy enough or way too creamy. And I know that is throwing off the macros. And that is a problem for me, my friend. Anyway, gonna take a sip. I am ready. I am caffeinated. And I'm ready to sound off on this topic. Now, if you are watching, because I do post this show on YouTube, then you will notice something different about my face. I got you. If you're listening right now, you're like, I have got to go onto YouTube right now and see what she's talking about when it comes to her face. I'm actually wearing less eyeshadow. And I don't know why I feel the need to let you know that, but one of my girlfriends gave me some unsolicited advice. You know you got the right friends when they're giving you unsolicited advice. And I was so annoyed in the moment, by the way. And I think she knew that I was a little bit annoyed. She saw something that I had posted on Instagram, and I wasn't wearing any makeup. I had a decent filter on it still, but I wasn't really wearing any makeup because it was the morning time. And she's like, hey, you look good without a lot of eyeshadow. You should try, not wearing as much eyeshadow. Or maybe she said it a little bit differently, but that's how I took it. And I'm like, what? Did she just say that? And she's like, oh, I'm trying to say that, you're beautiful. Well, either way, but try less. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to try less. And she was actually the second friend that had told me that. The other girlfriend told me, hey, you look really good, whatever that look is. I'm like, oh, that look is literally no makeup, but an Instagram filter. So we're talking good lighting here, right? And she's like, okay, well, I just want to make sure that you look good with or without it, because if you're a woman who loves to wear makeup, which is me, okay? I love wearing makeup, and there's a multitude of reasons of why I love makeup so much. And I think there's a deep-rooted unconscious reason to wear it, and I'm going to get into that in a second here. But if you are a woman that loves to express herself with makeup, you know how annoying it is when someone's like, you look really good without makeup on. You're like, so what are you trying to say? That I look bad with makeup on, or I blah, 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 blah? And that's not what they're saying at all. They're giving you a compliment, and it's different strokes for different folks. So I think as long as you love the way that you look and you love the skin that you're in, then so be it. And I happen to love makeup and wearing it. But I've noticed something as you age, and I'm 42 years old, is that the more makeup you wear, the older you look, the more you can see the wrinkles. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try back off a little bit. Let me see how long I last. And anytime you're trying something new, like not wearing as much eyeshadow, by the way, it feels weird. You look in the mirror and you're like, I don't know, I look weird right now. And so it's just because you're not used to it. When something is new, you're just not used to it. So back to the story about makeup and my obsession with makeup is I used to be a makeup artist. That was one of my first careers. And if you've been listening to this show for a while, you will know that I was an esthetician and makeup artist. That was like my first professional job that I had out of high school. As licensed in California. And so I just love makeup. I love hair. I was in the beauty industry. And then I worked in broadcast for so long, and we needed to do our makeup and hair every single day of our lives. And so I I got used to wearing makeup. But I think at an unconscious level, because I talk about the unconscious mind, when I was younger, I had really bad acne. I mean, like really embarrassingly bad acne. And I used makeup to cover the redness and what I perceived to be some serious flaws on my face. And the more makeup that I wore, and this mask that I essentially created, the better I felt about myself. And so I'm a huge advocate for makeup because it can do wonders for your confidence, especially if you're suffering from something like acne. And a lot of people do suffer from skin problems. And I was a teenager at the time. And so I piled on the foundation, and then I discovered that piling on cheek color actually camouflage the acne even more. And then if I did really dark eyeliner, then people would be paying attention to my eyes instead of my skin. So if I were to like psychoanalyze myself as I'm doing right now on the show, this is unscripted, by the way. I didn't even know I was going to take it here. Then I would say, hey, this goes back, way back, you know? So, hey, listen, people can have all kinds of opinions about the way that you look, and people will always have an opinion about the way that you look. This one particular friend who was like, hey, you look better without makeup. I'm like, hey, you should wear some makeup because you never wear makeup. So but you look great without it. And sometimes like I see you and I want to tell you, hey, wear a little makeup because your face just, you know. So it's funny how we can have opinions and judgments of each other. At the end of the day, though, I think as long as you're saying it with love, which in this case, of course, both of my girlfriends were, and then if you're getting triggered, it's like asking yourself why you're getting triggered and where that's coming from. And being open to like a different idea, not saying that you should get influenced by it, but I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. In fact, it was a few weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I want to go for like the natural look. I'm just going to go for like bronzer. I'm not going to even wear powder. And I just looked like an oily egg roll because I have oily skin. And I'm like, no. I got to wear powder. If I don't wear powder, I'm just like a shiny face all day long. And I'm not down for that look. So however you choose to express yourself, wear makeup, no makeup, more power to you. But if you're interested to see what I look like without a ton of eyeshadow, well, head to my YouTube and watch the show if you want to. But if you're listening, thank you for tuning in. And by the way, I just spent almost 8 minutes on this, and somebody out there needed to hear this message or else I wouldn't have felt compelled to share. Okay. We are not going to be talking about makeup. A lot of people have actually asked me to do an Instagram live going over my makeup routine. And then a lot of dudes are like, she wears too much makeup. I don't really care what anybody thinks, to be honest with you. So the less you care about what people think, not the more, the less you care, the more that you can just feel freedom and peace within yourself. And it's a beautiful feeling. So let's go. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is what? I was going to dive into AI, not necessarily focusing in on the topic, but a lot of people are using AI, artificial intelligence, to develop their content. And two things that AI doesn't have, and I have a point to this, is it doesn't have wisdom and it doesn't have heart. So let me explain. What is wisdom? First of all, you know, I love going to the dictionary. Wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, the quality of being wise. Do you think AI has good judgment? No, it's not a human being. It's artificial intelligence. AI doesn't have discernment. Only human beings have discernment. And AI doesn't have heart. There's so much talk right now about using AI for your content. And I'm game because I come from the SaaS tech world. That's part of my professional background, specifically in cybersecurity. And so when people talk about AI, I get excited. I think, yeah, AI is a great tool to help you become more efficient. And then when I'm looking at the mainstream headlines out there, oh, I just roll my eyes. It's like, is AI going to replace human beings? No, it's not going to replace human beings. It's going to help human beings focus on a higher purpose. But do you think AI can completely replace content, write books for you? Absolutely not, because it doesn't have wisdom. It doesn't have the experience you have. It doesn't have discernment, and it doesn't have heart. And by heart, I mean passion and desire. Do you think AI can articulate itself with passion and desire? No, not at all. When I'm asking that thing questions, I'm all that thing, questions, it's just like spitting out something very, very robotic to me. And by heart, like I said, I mean passion and desire. And what is passion? Passion is a strong emotion. AI doesn't run on emotions. Human beings oscillate through all the different emotions, and that's what makes us human, and it's a beautiful thing. So don't worry, robots are not going to replace the world. AI is not going to replace content. And so what you're going to get here is what? Not AI-driven content. I'm not saying not to use it in your content game, but I'm certainly not using it. Otherwise, it's going to, this whole show is going to sound robotic. But the reason why I brought it up is because sometimes I need a little help to think. You know what I mean? Like it gets your wheels turning. So it's interesting. While AI can be an assistant, it's never going to be a replacement, right? So somebody asked me a particular question, and I love to hear from you, by the way. I want to know what it is that you want me to talk about on the show. And somebody asked me this: what's the key to motivating those around me? So this individual is like, a really good topic would be, how do I motivate someone else? And that was really the question. It was like, how do I motivate somebody else? And I don't know the context of that question. I don't know if I didn't ask, right? Because maybe that's personal. It's like, well, who exactly are they trying to motivate? And why are they trying to motivate that individual? Is it an individual? Is it a group of people? Is it trying to motivate a following on social media? The context matters, but I think the root of it is, hey, what's the key to motivating people around me, the sphere around me? And it got me thinking, how do you motivate someone else? And can you actually motivate someone else? Got me interested. So what's motivate me? It means provide someone with a motive to do something. Well, or stimulate someone's interest in or enthusiasm for doing something. So can you motivate someone else? Absolutely, you can. Can someone find you motivating? And the simple answer is yes. So the first step, though, to motivating someone else is to be influential enough to motivate them. And the only way to be influential is to possess something they don't have but want. Did you hear that? I want to repeat that because that's gold right there. And that answer was not generated by AI. Let me tell you that. The only way to be influential is to possess something that somebody else wants but doesn't have. That's deep, right? You want to know what AI's answer to the question is, today's topic? I was like, okay, hey, AI, chat GBP. Maybe I said that wrong. Chat, whatever. Chatbot, tell me, how do you motivate someone else? And so it spits out all these different answers, and I got to read them to you because some of them are valid, but they are ridiculous, and I'll explain why. So here we go. I'm going to read off my paper. Physical fitness is good for mental fitness. That's why we launched our Daily Trainer app. For less than $1 a day, you get a personal trainer in your pocket. For a limited time, go to superhumanapp.com. That's SUPRA humanapp.com and use my code FREE at checkout to try your first week at no charge. He gave me like 10 tips, and I'm going to read 7 of them, and I'm going to stop right there. Number 1, Understand their goals and values. Take the time to listen and understand what drives the person you want to motivate. What are their goals, aspirations, and values? Tailor your approach to align with their individual motivations. Number 2, provide support and encouragement. Offer support and encouragement throughout their journey. Show genuine interest in their progress. Celebrate their achievements and provide positive feedback. Let them know that you believe in their abilities and you are there to support them. If I'm reading this in a certain way, there's a reason why, and I'm going to explain. It's not that I don't believe in any of this content. It's not that I don't agree with any of this content, but I'm going to tell you why some of this, in terms of tips, is not going to work. Number 3, set clear expectations. Clearly define expectations and goals. Ensure they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART goals. This clarity helps individuals understand what is expected of them and provides a clear target to work towards. See what I mean by sounding robotic? Number 4, break it down into manageable steps. Are you getting exhausted yet? Help the person break down their goals into smaller, achievable tasks. Break down larger goals into manageable steps, making them less daunting and increase the likelihood of their progress. Number 5, provide autonomy and ownership. Allow the person to have ownership over their goals and the strategies they employ to achieve them. Encourage them to take responsibility for their progress and decisions, which can foster a sense of empowerment and motivation. Number 6, I'm almost done. Bear with me, please. Offer resources and guidance. Okay, provide the necessary resources, tools, or information that can support their journey. This can include sharing relevant books, articles, or connecting them with mentors or experts in their field. And finally, number 7, and then I'm going to stop. Create a supportive environment. Foster a positive and supportive environment that encourages growth and learning. Encourage collaboration, teamwork, and open communication. Provide opportunities for the person to learn from their mistakes and offer constructive criticism and feedback. Sorry, I didn't even use the word criticism. It was like feedback. Don't even say the word criticism. Like, wow. Holy shit. Excuse my language. Motivating someone else, if I'm to follow the guidance of AI, sounds exhausting. And by the way, there are human beings out there that would be like, yeah, these are great tips to motivate. These are great tips to motivate your employees. Okay. I don't know about you, but you can't pay me enough to provide that level of motivational support for someone else. And I know that there are a lot of leaders out there that write speeches, and this is the kind of advice that they give. And I think that advice is only applicable if you actually have people on your team or people around you that have something called desire. Like, how are you going to motivate someone that doesn't even have goals? It's not my job to try to motivate you. So here's the thing. The person that you're trying to motivate, if they don't have desire to become a better human being, there's no amount of cheerleading and support system that you can provide to get them motivated, which is action-oriented, by the way. Motivate means to be in movement of something because there's emotion involved. You can't get people to act on something that they don't want to act on. So you can implement those 7 ridiculous steps and end up where? Nowhere, because if the person doesn't want to change, they ain't changing, which is why I don't try to sell you on getting your best body. Like, I'm not going to try to motivate you to do that. If you don't want to do it, you don't do it. Fine. It's not my problem to motivate you to want that. If you don't want that, you don't want that. If you want that, cool. If you have a desire for that, a deep burning desire for excellence, if you're tired of mediocrity and you don't want to settle for average anymore, and you want to discover your highest self, your best self, let's go. Let's talk. But you know what's funny? Not funny. Actually, it's not funny. A very small percentage of people actually have desire. I don't know what people's problem is, but I'll tell you what. If you're listening to this entire show, you'll notice that there's a couple of advertisements placed for you. These are my ads, nobody else's ads. And the ads are like, hey, I encourage you, if you want my, free diet plan. I'll give it to you right now. All you got to do is go to, superhumandiet.com. Hey, want my free workouts for a week? Go to superhumanapp.com. And so I'm offering value. I'm offering something free on the front end in hopes of sparking something for you. But 90% of people that come into my funnel, because that's what it is, let's talk business, it's a funnel. 90% of people that come into my funnel and then schedule an appointment, cancel the appointment, don't fill out the application. I'm like, do you know that is why you are so overweight? Because you're freaking that lazy that you want to pretend that you want something, but you can't even bother to fill out the application, and you can't even bother to show up for the call, and you want me to feel sorry for you? You want me to feel sorry for you that you are where you are? No, you don't really want it. You don't have the desire. You don't have what it takes. Do you have what it takes? Because if you have what it takes, you take the time to at least fill out an application and get past the free part. Then you get on the call and you're like, what? It's how much? It's how much to better myself? You mean it's not for free? Yeah, none of this is for free. Free, it means no energetic exchange. Right? So, when somebody asked me this question, it got me fired up. I am fired up. Why? Because your best bet is to inspire through example. That's all you can really do, ladies. Embody the qualities and behaviors you are trying to get that person that you're trying to motivate to mirror. Be up in their face. That is why I am up in your face. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want this mirror and this image staring back at you to be uncomfortable. Because that's what happens to me when I'm trying to go to the next level and I'm following along and I'm looking at people that are further ahead in an area of life that I want to be further ahead in, and I look at them, I am uncomfortable. It is supposed to make me feel uncomfortable, but I can't get mad at that person. I need to find out what they're doing. So they are doing me a favor by embodying the qualities that I want to possess someday. But here's the key. That person that you're trying to motivate has got to want it. You can't make someone want something that they don't want. Does that make sense? So how are you going to try to motivate someone to do something that they don't even want to do? So the first question you should ask them is, what do you want? Is this thing that I'm trying to motivate you to do, is that even what you want? And I actually asked my staff on my team that, what do you want? Tell me what you want, because I'm not going to try to push you or motivate you into an area of our business or in your employment that you are not going to feel fired up and passionate about. Screw that. I want people with passion on the team. I'm not going to try to motivate you. Now, if you come and you've got that level of passion and desire, you better believe I am going to do everything that AI chatbot just told me to do, which is what? What are your goals? What are your values? I'm going to provide that support and encouragement. I am going to set clear expectations. I am going to break that stuff down into manageable steps. I am going to provide you with autonomy and ownership. I am going to offer resources and guidance. I am absolutely going to create a supportive environment. And guess what? I do all those things. Ask anybody who has ever been on my team, has ever worked with me. I won't even say for me, with me. And they will tell you, yes, yes, yes. The only people that'll tell you, no, she did not, are the people who had no freaking motivation. They had no desire. They had no burning anything in them. And there was no amount of freaking coaching or talking that I could do to unlock it. I'm like, bro, you have got to find that for yourself. You were in the wrong place. You're wasting your time and you're fired. And I'll tell you why you're fired. I'm doing you a favor by firing you. I'm not even firing you because I'm mad at you. I'm firing you so that I can release you, so that you can discover what fires you up. All right. So I think I made my point. The best people on my team and my company do not require motivation. I'm not going to motivate you. If you don't have the desire to improve, there is no amount of support, no amount of amazing leadership that I can provide to get you to be motivated. So let me rescue the person that just asked me this question, because I know that they're listening. They're an avid listener, and I appreciate that. And I bring you a lot of energy on these shows. Why? Do you know how much energy that takes just to talk like that, right? That comes from the depth of my soul for you to hear. Because stories move, emotions move. If I just read my script and sound like a robot, you're not going to be moved into action. So I want to rescue the person that asked me that question and wanted me to answer it today. Do not spin your wheels trying to motivate someone else. Either they will rise to the level of your standards, or they will ultimately drag you down. And so you've got to decide, am I going to keep a person around that just can't get motivated no matter how I show up? That even if you are showing up as your best self, they aren't inspired to keep up and level up. And if the person that you're attempting to motivate is a spouse, for example, again, I don't know the context of this question. Is this a friend you're trying to motivate? Is this a spouse? Is this an employee? Is this a team member? Like, who is it that you are trying to motivate? Because you can't try to motivate anyone. Try implies that you are doing the doing for them, and they've got to do. So if it's a spouse, perhaps you've got to have a serious conversation with them. Grow or go. Grow or go. That is my motto. In order to evolve, we must grow. Now, I'm not saying that you expect them to meet you at your current level, especially if they're just at the starting point. So, for example, a lot of people on our team, I'm not expecting them to be at my level in terms of skill set. Like I got 25 years on some of them. What I'm expecting is for you to have the desire to level up and to be motivated enough to push yourself to take action. Because if I have to, well, I mean, I don't know what that sound is, but, I'm trying to give you a sound effect. If I have to, come on, that's exhausting, right? So what I'm saying is you certainly don't, if it's someone close to you, you certainly don't allow them to sit on the sidelines, because if they sit there long enough, they'll begin to drag you down. And so you've got to lead by example. So how do you motivate others? Just be the change. Lead by example and pray. Pray that it's enough to influence and inspire them to start their journey to becoming better. That's all that you can do to try to motivate someone else is just be that living example and continue to progress and continue to evolve and never stop. And that's what's going to motivate people. Everybody is at a different place in their journey. It may take someone listening to 60-something of my episodes to all of a sudden get the spark, and that's okay. Or it may just take one episode, because everybody is at a different place in life. But whatever it is, you've got to find that desire, that deep burning flame within yourself. And you've got to find a way to unlock that. You can't forcibly unlock that for someone else, especially if they're not ready. So if someone in your life you care so deeply about, you're trying to motivate them, it just may not be the right timing, and they just may not be that type of person that can be motivated. And sometimes you have to come to grips with that. You have to come to the realization, hey, me and that person, we just ain't the same. We outgrew each other. But are you both dedicated to growth? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are dedicated to growth? Because if you're trying to motivate someone else and they're not motivated, it means that they don't have that spark yet. I believe we're all born with that spark, and then society just quiets it down and dulls it down. But, I want you to know something. You are not personally responsible for igniting that for someone else. And you're certainly not responsible for keeping it burning in someone else. That is not your role. Your role is to better yourself and hope that somebody gets inspired and influenced by that. Igniting the flame and keeping the flame burning, That's something that we got to do for ourselves. All right, everyone, that is all I've got to bring to the table today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you love it, you like it, leave me a review. A 5-star would so appreciate it. Hit me up in the DMs. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe it's the person you're trying to motivate. Send them a subtle message by sharing this episode with them. As always, again, thank you so much for listening.